What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. Well, as I'm sure will surprise nobody, Nigel Farage has scored a huge victory and Corbyn has been shamed in regards to Brexit, according to a new poll by Ipsos Mori, the market research company. The Express's article runs "Man of the People. Farage scores huge victory and Corbyn shamed over Brexit poll. Nigel Farage's Brexit party is the most trusted to represent the interests of the British people, a new poll has indicated." Which seems to be a shock to the Express and maybe to Ipsos Mori, but it won't be a shock to me or any of my viewers, I'm sure. At the end of the day, Nigel Farage has been trying to get us out of the EU for more than 20 years now. So for him to be the most likely one to help us and the people supporting him in that goal is not really a shock, but I suppose the media and the Ramonas, they're in deep crisis right now, and this is just adding to that. The article continues, "The Brexit Party is more on the side of the British people than other political parties, according to new research. Ipsos Mori polled 1,080 adults between September 27 and 30th, and found Nigel Farage's party came out top, securing almost 1/3 of the vote. The poll also revealed that Jeremy Corbyn's approach to Brexit is not appealing to voters, with 64% dissatisfied with his proposals for leaving the EU. But we all know that anyway. Corbyn has been in the right shit with the polls, and the Lib Dems, as I said in my stream last night, are joining him in falling down, likely because of their new stance on just revoking Article 50. A lot of people that might have supported the Lib Dems just wanted to have another vote in the hope that they won. They didn't just want to ignore the vote, because even to some of these Ramonas, that might be taking it a little bit far. But we do have to also point out, this Ipsos Mori poll literally did 1,080 adults between September 27th and the 30th. So it's not exactly like it's a lot of people or representative of the country, really. If they would have done maybe 100,000, you could make an argument that maybe it's a bit more representative. But realistically, you need to do a majority of the country. We're talking 50, 60 million for it to really tell you what's going on. But obviously I understand they ain't going to be able to do that. But the point is, this poll needs to be taken with a pinch of salt, like any poll at the end of the day. Pollsters asked, who do you think is on the side of the British people? The respondents, aged between 18 and 75, then selected from 16 different politicians and institutions. 31% said the Brexit Party was more on the side of the British people, and its leader Nigel Farage also came third, with 29% of those polling agreed. At the end of the day, this shouldn't surprise no one. 31% in the EU elections, I think, was what they got. So 31% of people still agreeing with them. Maybe the poll does kind of reflect what actually happened in the EU elections. So it could happen again if the Tory party are seen to be not trying to deliver Brexit. Because let's remember, the Brexit Party would be sitting on the 30s and 40% right now if Boris Johnson wasn't in charge of the Conservatives. Because Boris wants to deliver Brexit and will go for a no-deal Brexit, people support that. Theresa May, everybody knew she wasn't going to, that's why the Tories were tanking in the polls. But it did say that MPs who want to leave the EU with a deal received the second highest score at 30%, where it doesn't add whether they want to leave with a deal, but willing to leave with no deal, because it could be people like them, like Rob and the rest of the cabinet, who apparently it looks like would leave with no deal if necessary. The Conservative Party have cleared out the ones who won't, like Rudd and that, so yeah, they've gone, they're irrelevant. Now it's just the Brexiteers, it would seem. Pollsters broke down the results based on whether respondents were Remain or Leave voters. The former largely opted for politicians who want to keep Britain in the EU, such as Joe Swinson and the Lib Dems. Leave voters said they trusted Nigel Farage's party and MPs who want to leave the EU without a deal to represent the public the most. So that goes to show that people who want to leave really want to leave on WTO terms. They're happy with a deal, and they feel that Nigel Farage and MPs who want to leave without a deal represent what the public want the most over ones who want a deal or want to remain. The research also found those surveyed had not been won over by Mr Corbyn's Brexit proposals, as 65% said they were dissatisfied with his approach. I'm sure it said 64% up here. Yeah, it did, 64% dissatisfied with his proposals. I don't know if they're talking about a different approach or something else, but yeah, maybe that's just a typo. Just 23% said they were satisfied by Labour leaders' Brexit proposals. Boris Johnson came off better, as over 1/3, 36%, revealed they were satisfied with his handling of Brexit. 54% said they were dissatisfied. Ipsos Mori also asked, who do you think is on the side of the British establishment? Respondents voted overwhelmingly for the Tories, with Mr Johnson coming in second. Remain MPs came in third at 35%. Well, they're all for the establishment. They're all part of the establishment at the end of the day. Those surveyed were also asked how trusted they thought the establishment was to put the needs of the British people above its own interests. Less than 1 in 5, 17%, said they trusted the establishment to put the needs of the nation first when it comes to Brexit, almost always or most of the time. It should be less than even that. The establishment will always put itself first at the end of the day, with a whopping 43% saying that when it comes to Britain's departure from the EU, they trusted the establishment almost never. And that surprises absolutely no one listening to this video, I'm sure. Let me know in the comments if it does. When it came to the public's interest more generally, 18% said that the British establishment puts the interest of the nation above their own, almost always or most of the time, and 35% said almost never. Ipsos Mori research director Kieran Pedley said, in public opinion terms, there is clearly political mileage in attacking the British establishment. However, politicians that do so should bear in mind that the establishment means different things to different people. It's clear from our research that Leave and Remain voters have very different views on who is on the side of the British establishment and who is on the side of the British people. So any general election framed in those terms is likely to have a highly unpredictable outcome. So, like I said at the beginning, that article should shock absolutely no one. Of course, Nigel Farage is going to be the most trusted when it comes to leaving the EU. The guy is Mr. Brexit at the end of the day. That is literally what he's known for, trying to get us out of the EU. And obviously, as for Corbyn's polling numbers, we all know what they're like, especially if you watched the live stream last night. They are in the shit, mate. This dirty snivelling shitweasel couldn't win an election if he was the only one running in it. No one would bother voting for him. So yeah, well done Ipsos Mori for a completely pointless poll I could have told you the answer to. You wasted over 1,000 people's time with this worthless questionnaire that you sent them or called them up on, as that's what yous lot do. Nigel Farage being the most trusted when it comes to Brexit is kind of obvious. But well guys, I'm going to end the video there anyway. I want to thank the channel's PayPal, Patreon and Subscribe Star members for supporting the channel, along with everyone who watches my videos. Remember to let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Leave a like, subscribe with the notification bell and share this video as it helps the channel a lot. And I will see you all in the next one.
This Parliament is a dead Parliament. It should no longer sit. It has no moral right to sit on these green benches. They don't like the truth. Twice they have been asked to let the electorate decide upon whether they should continue to sit in their seats, while they block 17.4 million people's votes. Parliament is a disgrace, but they're too cowardly to give it a go. But the time is coming. The time is coming, Mr. Speaker, when even these turkeys won't be able to prevent Christmas.